Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the principal's office. Before I get started with all the general conversation of, I want to just truly take a moment to stop and send my thoughts and prayers with the families involved and directly involved and indirectly involved with the shooting that has occurred this week. I wanted to really just come to you guys because I know school just was started, and a couple of my videos just talked about bullying, and it talked about how to prepare back for school. And then obviously school is for the most part in full swing across the states, right? And so now we're here, all into a very familiar place for a lot of people. And so I just want to talk to the broader audience, whether you're a teacher or students, parents, loved ones, families, just about some things that we all need to keep in mind. And it's very scary this time of year to think that school just started, and here we are already with the issue, and probably not even maybe 2 weeks into school. And so, and in some places are probably 4 weeks down the line, but it's a scary thing. I'm going to go back to thinking about as when I was a principal, and my moments of what I will be thinking right now. And so I know me, I probably would have went to my area superintendent, to my district, and said, can I'm making sure that it was okay, that I can send something out to families. Typically every month I would send a newsletter, every weekend I would call just to give updates. But for something like this, parents need to hear, I feel, from school leaders. They need to hear from their districts whether something has occurred or not. And that's because people are all over the world are going to be on edge. Whether you have kids, it's the trauma of just even looking at and thinking, what in the world is going on, right? And why are we looking at the news and seeing kids hide and cops swarming schools, whether it's elementary, middle, and high school? So it's all very scary. And parents, they feel helpless because I'm sending my kid to school, and then now something is happening, or something is or happening, and I can't reach them and I can't get to them. And that's in any situation with any of our loved ones. But I wanted to talk to you about some things that I would write in my newsletter. And more specifically, I definitely would send some comfort to my families and saying, best believe every day when I get up and I enter that building, and maybe before I enter the building, I'm thinking of ways to make sure that everyone is safe. I had the pleasure, my school district really thought about that. Our security team really thought about how do we make our school safe. And it came through, and they went through each building and gave us some tips and put some measures in place. And so we have protocols that we have to do. But I say all of this because rest assured, in most districts, they are thinking about school safety. But every plan is a plan, it's a map. And still, there's other things that maybe there's a crack or two where somebody gets by, and then you have another tragedy. And so I can only suggest a couple of things, or I would have in my letter. And my letter to my families would say around this time, there's four S's, and there's some content in the S's, but I want you to think about seek, safe, supportive, and stay. Okay. The first one, seek professional help. You need to be able to talk about your fears, and that's from the teacher standpoint, the administrator standpoint, the kids, and the families, right? Because sometimes bottling up makes things worse. So, whatever your fears are, you need to seek professional help, and the professionals will help you get out whatever your fears are or talk you through it. You definitely have to seek professional assistance. And don't say, well, there's nothing wrong with me, or maybe seek professional assistance, because some type of emotion is happening when you see a situation such as that, or if you are directly involved in it, obviously, or if you're indirectly involved somehow, you're impacted by it. So seek professional help. That is the first S. The second one is create a safe and supportive environment. So you need to be able to have an environment where conversations can be controlled and had, whether that's in home, maybe it's a small group after school, but safe and supportive. People need to be able to articulate and talk about their worries, and they also need to be able to feel supportive and safe and heard. And so the two S's in that statement was safe and supportive. The fourth S is stay informed with what's happening around you, stay informed with new safety measures, stay informed with Whatever is going to help you make the best decisions. And so you stay informed about new rules and policies. So then that way you can be on the front end of conversation. And I think that if you did that in some instance, you would feel slightly a little bit better. I can't imagine my kid being in the school, my personal child, and then thinking tomorrow I'm going to send them back to school, right? I wouldn't be able to do that. And then on a standpoint as an educator, I don't know how I will be able to walk back in the door to be able to sit down and teach. And so that's why I want you to seek professional help or the administrator, because man, when you're in that building, your top priority is safety. You want everyone to be safe. And so I don't know what that administrator, what they're thinking right now, but I just know me, I would have freaked out. It's safety was one of those things. And so it's a area of concern, I'm pretty sure, for that administrator. But and now at this point, for every administrator, you definitely have to think about preparing and getting everyone ready in case there is a tragedy that's happening on your campus. And then aftermath of that, but definitely go into preventative mode, do what you need to do your due diligence of locking doors and making sure other people lock doors and not prop them open. In most states, there is a contingency plan of what that looks like to make sure that kids are safe. And families, again, I'm going to go back to that bullying thing. I'm going to go back to checking social media. I'm going to go back to having those conversations with your kid so you can post check them. I don't want to speak a lot on this situation because we all don't know the details. But the little detail that I do know is that, or I should say, what I'm hearing is a lot of people are blaming this on mental health, and we don't really know if that's the case. But I will say this: we don't know if it's mental health, and so it's not good that people are like, oh well, it's because this person had a mental health issue. Then what happens if they didn't have a mental health issue? And then now you're pretty much labeling people that have mental health issues, saying that they would do something like this. I think that that's a little bit far reach on a stretch. And if you don't, if there's no facts. I don't. Everybody has speculations. There is always three sides to a story. That's what I say is the truth, the other person's truth, and then there's the real truth. And we, at this point, don't know what that is. The fact that we know is that four precious individuals lost their life, and then four of those individuals' families will be forever impacted by that. And as a nation, as a country, as a state, as an educator, we'll always be impacted just by the lives that were lost in what we consider, and from the education standpoint, a safe educational space. School should be sacred. Hospitals should be sacred, right? Your home should be sacred. Churches should be sacred. And in this case, it seems like we're losing that as the years go on. But that's all I have for now. Again, seek, safe, supportive, and stay. Those four S's. Just keep grounded in that. And everyone, please stay safe. Love on each other, hug on each other, because you never know when tragedy is going to strike. And so, with that being said, don't forget to subscribe and share. And I will be back shortly with another video. At this point, because things are happening so crazy, and since school started, I'm not sure what that's going to be, but hopefully it will be something a little bit more upbeat and supportive. I would love to start celebrating different schools and different students for things that they've done around the world. That would be a lot more uplifting, and so keep some balance. But in any event, again, like, subscribe, and share. Peace, guys.